Alvarez just broke his silence on the long-awaited showdown against David Benavidez, and his response will shock you. For months, fans and experts have debated whether Canelo would take on his undefeated Mexican-American rival or continue down a different path. But now, with a $600 million mega offer in play and the WBC making its ruling, one question remains. Is Canelo avoiding Benavidez, or is this just smart business?
Benavidez and Benavidez, who do you think is the biggest challenge for you?
Oh, Benavidez.
Benavidez?
Yeah,
Why is that?
of course. Because he's a champion. He has something to offer me. He's strong. He's in another way. He's a lot of things. A lot of things.
Let's break it all down. The World Boxing Council, WBC, has officially declared David Benavidez as Canelo Alvarez's mandatory challenger for the Super Middleweight Championship. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman confirmed that, as per their ruling, the fight should take place in March.
He respects Benavidez. I don't care what he says, that he ain't done nothing and all that stuff. If he ain't done nothing, then why you asking for $150 million, dog?
He brings nothing to the table for me. I don't need to fight anybody. I don't need to prove anybody.
This decision has ignited anticipation across the boxing world, as fans and analysts alike consider it one of the most significant matchups in recent history. But here's where things get complicated. The WBC may have ordered the fight, but Canelo isn't legally obligated to follow their directive.
Anything.
And he's calling your name. He's doing the same thing you doing. He fighting. You the cash cow. You the face of boxing, and you don't answer that call, bro. That says something about you, man.
Despite being the undisputed super middleweight champion, he retains full control over his career and fight choices. Historically, Canelo has been selective about his opponents, often prioritizing fights that make the most business sense rather than simply following mandatory rulings. That means Benavidez's status as the mandatory doesn't necessarily guarantee he'll get his shot next. Canelo still has the option to bypass him and choose a different opponent for his traditional May 4th fight date, an annual event that has become synonymous with his dominance in the sport. And if there's one thing we know about Canelo, it's that he doesn't like being pressured into fights. He operates on his own terms, setting the stage for a potential standoff between the sport's governing body, fight promoters, and the fighter himself.
So if I didn't bring nothing to the table, why are you asking for more money than you won in your whole career if I don't mean anything? Maybe after he gets that money, he can buy himself a pair of balls.
Benavidez, man, is disrespecting him. He's telling him to grow some balls. He's doing all of that, bro. And if you being Canelo Alvarez and you have any pride and your dignity and you and your skills, step up and face that man.
So, the real question isn't whether this fight can happen, it's whether Canelo wants it to happen. And if history is any indication, he won't make his decision based on external pressure. He'll make it based on what benefits his legacy, his business, and his long-term plans in the sport. The World Boxing Council, WBC, had already laid out a clear path. If David Benavidez managed to defeat Demetrius Andrade, he would be the next in line for a shot at Canelo Alvarez's undisputed super middleweight crown. And Benavidez didn't just win that fight, he put on a masterclass, dominating Andrade in a way that left no doubts about his credentials. His power, pressure, and relentless pace overwhelmed Andrade, forcing a stoppage that sent a clear message to the boxing world. He was ready for Canelo. By all logic, that victory should have sealed the deal. A dominant win over a top-ranked contender, combined with the WBC's previous statements, meant there was no longer any ambiguity. Benavidez had earned his shot.
Just got done watching the Jaime Munguia Canelo fight. Was a good fight. It didn't win exactly how I expected, but hats off to both fighters.
But boxing isn't always that simple. Just because a fight should happen doesn't mean it will. Benavidez's camp hasn't been shy about making their stance clear. His team, his father, and his promoters have all been vocal, insisting that Canelo honor the WBC's ruling and accept the fight. Their argument is simple. The governing body made a decision. Benavidez met the criteria, and now it's time for the champion to defend his belts.
I don't really like to bash somebody because at the end of the day, I give respect to Canelo. He's a great fighter.
Yeah.
He's one of the best Mexican fighters of all time.
But wanting to fight him, David, is not bashing him.
Yeah.
They believe anything less would be an injustice, not just to Benavidez, but to the integrity of boxing itself. And it's not just Team Benavidez pushing for the fight. Fans, especially those in the Mexican boxing community, have made their voices heard. Many believe this is the fight that needs to happen, the defining showdown between the current king of Mexican boxing and the young lion who wants to take his throne. The nickname Mexican Monster isn't just for show. Benavidez has built his reputation on aggression, power, and an unwavering belief that he can take down anyone in front of him.
Yeah.
That's not bashing him.
But that's what I'm saying. They spin the narrative on Instagram.
Right.
If I say something, they say this or that. But I only want what I earned.
Right.
There's one problem. Despite the growing demand, there's still no contract, no official confirmation, and, until recently, no real response from Canelo himself. That silence led to speculation. Was Canelo avoiding Benavidez? Was he looking for a different challenge? Or was he simply waiting for the right moment to make his move? Fans dissected his interviews, analyzed his social media posts, and debated whether the champion was truly interested in facing the 27-year-old powerhouse. Now, we finally have an answer.
If it was up to me, like we keep on saying, we want to see Benavidez. Canelo, hell of a fighter. But my personal opinion, he's ducking Benavidez. You know, that's just my personal opinion. And I'm allowed to speak my mind. That's just what it is.
Canelo has broken his silence, but instead of giving a straightforward yes or no, he's keeping his options open. And that's where things get even more interesting. While Benavidez seems like the obvious choice, he isn't the only name in the mix. Jermall Charlo was initially considered a potential opponent, but after his shaky performance against Jose Benavidez Jr., that fight lost steam. Then there's Terence Crawford, the undisputed welterweight champion who wanted a shot at Canelo, but Canelo shut that down, saying the weight difference was too great. So if Benavidez is the clear next best option, why is there hesitation? That brings us to the real debate, business versus legacy.
I'm not scared of nobody. I've hurt everybody that's been in front of me, and Canelo's no different. And I will hurt him too, and I'll take all his belts. It's crazy that he asked for 150 million or 200 million to fight me, but he still has the nerve to say that I don't bring nothing to the table. So if I didn't bring nothing to the table, why are you asking for more money than you won in your whole career if I don't mean anything? Maybe after he gets that money, he can buy himself a pair of balls.
Boxing isn't just about belts and knockouts. It's a high-stakes business where every decision is calculated. Fighters may step into the ring for glory, but behind the scenes, negotiations, contracts, and financial incentives often dictate what matchups actually happen. Veteran promoter Leonard Ellerby has been in the game long enough to understand this reality, and according to him, financial decisions hold more weight in making fights than most fans realize. When it comes to marketability, a showdown between Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez is a gold mine. This isn't just another title defense. This is a fight with the potential to be one of the biggest pay-per-view (PPV) events in boxing history. Experts predict it would generate more revenue than a possible Canelo versus Terence Crawford matchup, primarily because of the sheer demand from fans. Both fighters have passionate followings, and the storyline is perfect. A reigning undisputed champion taking on a young, undefeated, and aggressive challenger who has been calling for this fight for years. Reports have surfaced that a staggering $600 million deal could be on the table for this fight. If true, that number alone makes it hard to justify not making the fight happen. The financial incentive is there, the public demand is undeniable, and the stage is already set for an explosive clash. But as with everything in boxing, money is only one part of the equation. Canelo has always been a calculated fighter, both inside and outside the ring. Every move he makes is strategic, balancing risk and reward in a way that maximizes his career longevity and financial earnings.
And I'm entitled to it. From what the WBC told me, they say you win the title limiter, we'll give you a title shot. You win the WBC interim title, we'll give you a title shot. I've been in this position for 3 years. So just because Canelo, he could do what he wants, as he says,
right,
he's not going to fight the top competition.
Throughout his career, he's carefully selected opponents, sometimes prioritizing legacy-defining fights, and other times making business-driven decisions that align with his long-term goals. Some critics argue that he's stalling on the Benavidez fight because he sees the younger fighter as a real threat. Others believe he's simply playing the long game, waiting for the perfect moment to cash in on what could be his biggest payday yet. So, is Canelo avoiding Benavidez out of fear, or is he just making a smart career move? That's the million-dollar question, or in this case, the $600 million question. Boxing legends and fans alike are weighing in on the debate. Hall of Famer Juan Manuel Marquez has urged Canelo to take the fight, arguing that dodging Benavidez would hurt his legacy. Other analysts have gone further, suggesting that if Canelo refuses, the WBC should strip him of his title. The pressure is mounting. More and more, the narrative is shifting. If Canelo doesn't fight Benavidez, it won't just be seen as a business decision. It'll be seen as avoidance, and that's a label no fighter wants.
And he's holding all those belts hostage, bro. And it's not like you got other great fighters too. You got me and David Morrell's there.
Yeah.
How is it fair that these sanctioning bodies let him pick and choose who he wants to fight? And then the Canelo fans too that be talking shit, bro. Like, do you guys not want to see the best fights?
Right.
Like, I don't understand. I'm just trying to make the best fights happen. And that's it. At the end of the day, I just want to give the fans what they want to see.
Yeah.
While the boxing world waits for an official announcement, Canelo has given some insight into his future. He plans to fight for 4 more years, targeting retirement at age 37. Before he hangs up his gloves, he has one major goal: a historic fight at Mexico City's Estadio Azteca. His next fight is set for May 4th, 2024 in Las Vegas. But as of now, the opponent is still unknown. And in typical Canelo fashion, he left us with one final statement: "Throw me anyone, no one can beat me." So, is Canelo truly considering the Benavidez fight, or will he go in another direction? Is this a smart business move or a legacy-defining moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe Knockout Updates and turn on notifications to never miss out on quality content. And check out our other videos. Until next time, peace out.